What's this guy's name? It's something Hawk. Um, uh, and it may sound stereotypical, but dude looks like he's done some time and sounds like he's done some time.
They charged Jesus with sedition. Didn't they do that? They said he was against Caesar. They said he was discriminating because he told his disciples, go not the way of the Gentiles, but rather go to the lost sheep. He discriminated. Don't go near the Gentiles, go to the lost sheep. Go to the oppressed.
That's right, that's right, that's right. Ride, 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 ride. Look me by when you see me ride. Don't you see me switching lanes? Bitch ass niggas switch sides. Don't hate the riders, hate the game. Don't hate the riders, don't hate the riders, don't hate the riders, don't hate me, man. Don't hate ass niggas switching sides. Don't you see me switching lanes? Let me by when you see me ride. Don't you see me switching lanes? Bitch ass niggas switching sides. Don't hate the riders, hate the game. Don't hate the riders, don't hate the riders, don't hate the riders, don't hate me, man. Don't hate ass niggas switching sides. Don't you see me switching lanes? This king shit, fuck change, man. Give me gold bars and gold crowns. If a pimp suck these hoes down, housewives turn porn star. These hoes go too far. I'm guru, this gangster. St. Louis don't fight fair. Put bullet holes in your paint job. Fake hoes get exposed. Eat bitch niggas like Tate.
Tribe. You know what it is. Yeah, let me get some bows and arrows in the chat if you hear me loud and clear. Let me get some bows and arrows in the chat if you hear me loud and clear. Tribe. Stand by. You already know what it is, man. Tonight's topic will be false faces. Still got my motherfucking moccasin. Mohawk. Let me see. Oh yeah. Right here. Oh yeah, comments. It ain't even showing my comments. That's what I was trying to look and see. So you already know what it is, man. Unconquered Tribe. Big Hawking. Shadow Band Clan. So make sure y'all goddamn share the stream, hit the like, and we're gonna give everybody a chance to get in here, tomorrow. And we'll be right back, man. Drop the rules on these fools, man. You already know how we rockin', man. False Faces 3, and we're gonna do back-to-back builds. False Faces 3 and 4. Make sure you stick around, or if you don't, make sure you set your alarm so you can wake up. Because 4, oh, it's gonna be ugly. But that's part 4, so you don't have to sit through them out. But they, like I said, they'll be back to back. But we're gonna end the series on that. These false hawks. Tribe, you already know how we rockin'. Only the real relate. You did. Stand by. Share the stream. Share the stream. Share the stream. Share the stream, please. Please share the stream. You know they don't want the truth out. We about to fuck them up. Arrows on arrows on arrows on arrows. Keep your eyes on the sparrows. Drop. Drive. Peace to the tribes, man. We're going to go ahead and get it cracking, man. Just, give the algorithm a little time, man, to let the agents, go find them some other work. This is an interesting little picture here. Photograph. Interesting photograph. Ah, man, we back at it, man. False faces in high places. Yeah, go ahead, hit that like, share, get this out here, man, because they're not going to see it. I'd be surprised. You probably won't be able to search for this video and find it. You'll only be able to see it in your history. If you popped up, that's probably because you wanted the elect. You know what I'm talking about? False faces in high places. See what we got today. Where do we start? I've learned so much. Where I want to start. Probably start with some reading. So I can hopefully connect the dots for smooth. Oh, this. I forgot I wanted to make this a post. I think I might just have to include this. Let's see. Yo, peace to the tribes, man. Shout out to everybody tuning in. Appreciate you. You already know how we rock. Bear with me, bear with me, bear with me. This is from the Tahlequah. Daily Press. Apparently, no secret. This does look like a good place to start. My computer's so hot. I read so much shit, man. I be trying to keep it to a minimum for y'all. And then if you want to do your own research, you can. Sheesh. Oh, lesser light ass niggas. I'm low key stalling. Just so people can hear. Like always, I'll be providing primary sources. The beginning of the actual lesson will be in the description, so you can fast forward to all this if you want. But I am looking for an article that I want to start with. And this is, and the reason I made it part 3 is because I'm realizing like some of this stuff kind of leads into the next one. You know, so you don't necessarily have to watch the other ones. I ain't just gonna cap. But it'll make more sense if you watch it. And hopefully it'll all come around 360 like it usually do. You know what I'm talking about? So we had we had touched on this article here. You know, yeah, we had touched on this article. Well, we didn't go into depth, you know, and as I was reviewing it, very, very interesting facts. Yeah, maybe we'll just read this whole thing. Fuck it, man. This is Hawk School for the get there and let you know what I'm talking about. You already know how we rock it. Let me shout out Darius Matthews, Enoch 0407, Sagittarius Jones, Suzanne Thompson, Gretchen Helm, Tribe, you already know. Um, yeah, these people is pretty obnoxious. Let me get some bows and arrows in the chat if the audio is coming through loud and clear. And once I see those bows and arrows, then we're gonna go ahead and start reading this article here, which is from the Oklahoma Masonic History .blogspot. One of these niggas up here, see, I think they bragging, but all they doing is snitching about it. All they doing is snitching. And this right here tastes good. Alright. Low voice, low voice. Oh shit. See, they on settings. Maybe like trying to automatically adjust my audio. Alright, can you hear me? Can you hear me loud and clear? Can you hear me loud and clear? You should be hearing me loud and clear. You say you can barely hear me? Nah, man, if I turn it up anymore, I'm gonna be, nah, that's impossible, bro. It might be possible. Okay, how about now? Yeah, can you hear me loud and clear? You should be able to hear me loud and clear. Everything up, it's up. I know you hear me loud and clear, I don't even have to check. Shout out to Gretchen Helm, always on motherfucking task. Okay, and my audio's crisp and loud right now. Try. Alright. Yeah, so, you know, this is the condenser microphone. Yeah, so this motherfucker, like, when I be moving the mic sometimes, a bitch will turn around, so I gotta make sure. can't hear me, it must not be me. But I think you can hear me. Alright, so there's the link in the chat. Hopefully you can hear me because I'm getting sick of these people playing with my motherfucking screens. Hating on the kids, you know what I'm saying? Why are they hating on the kid? Yo, 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 yo. Yo, yo, yo. 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 Boy, that's hella loud. That's hella loud. Hella loud. Tribe. I ain't no good enough. Ain't no better. Is it great? Because we are great people. Descendants of greatness. Seeds of greatness. Yo. If you can't hear me now, you have an Android. There is no more volume. Yeah. Alright, my bad. I was kind of enjoying that. Alright, well, I'm going to read anyway, and I think you have an Android phone at this point, Gretchen, because everything is turned all the way up, and it was pretty loud on my last couple builds. So, we shall continue. High-power medication. All right. While some Choctaw and Chickasaw hunting parties regularly came to what would become the Indian Territory in pursuit of buffalo, the first full-scale emigration of the 5 tribes occurred in 1827 when roughly 700 Creeks, led by Chili McIntosh, made their way west in the wake of the Treaty of Indian Springs, known as the McIntosh Party, for their support of Chief William McIntosh in his ceding of Creek lands for land west of the Mississippi. These Creeks settled in the Three Forks area near Fort Gibbs, and the western or Old Settler Cherokees were removed from Arkansas the following year. It is estimated that the Indian Removal Act of 1830 would see over 58,000 members of the 5 tribes either emigrate or be forcibly removed to the Indian Territory. The 5 tribes were, as they remain today, sovereign nations. This required the United States to enter into treaties with the 5 tribes, which often made travel to Washington, D.C. necessary for tribal headmen. For the mixed bloods that dominated tribal politics, this interaction with white culture was not foreign. The Cherokee William P. Ross, the Choctaw Peter Pitchlynn, and the Creek Chili McIntosh were all of Scottish descent. It was on a diplomatic visit to Washington, D.C. that William P. Ross was made a Freemason at Federal Lodge number 1. In 1848, Pitchlynn would also become a Freemason in Washington, D.C., and both he and Ross became Royal Archmasons there. The 1839 Act of Union brought together the Western Cherokees, formerly of Arkansas, and the recently removed Cherokees as the Cherokee Nation, establishing their capital at Tahlequah. See, it was here on November 9th, 1848, that Cherokee Lodge number 21 was chartered by the Grand Lodge of Arkansas. The first lodge secretary was William P. Ross. Additional lodges with primarily indigenous membership that were chartered included Choctaw Lodge number 52, Flint Lodge number 74, and Muskogee Lodge number 93. Also among the membership of these lodges were other important brethren, Christian missionaries. The Methodist Thomas Berthoff held membership at Cherokee Lodge. At Muskogee Lodge was the Baptist H.F. Buckner. These men became acquainted with another Baptist missionary and soon-to-be brother named Joseph S. Murrow. Some have contended that the men of the 5 tribes found something similar in Freemasonry that they had experienced elsewhere. There is a reference to a Choctaw horse masonry with signs and grips. Edmund H. Doyle, an early Masonic luminary in the Indian Territory, often told the story of meeting a non-English speaking Choctaw in 1876. In the dark of night, Doyle, seeking shelter from a storm, gave a sign which the Choctaw recognized and greeted Doyle with hospitality. Others have reference a fraternity of Indian blood brothers, quote unquote, with a stone altar bearing the square and compass as a familiar sight to Native Americans and bringing them to Freemasons. However, what many of the 5 tribes saw in Freemasonry was a connection that could preserve their tribal existence. Conversions to Christianity were common. Among the 5 tribes in the 19th century. Chili McIntosh of the Creek Nation was ordained as a Baptist minister by the Reverend H.F. Buckner, a Freemason, in 1848. Chili's half-brother, Daniel McIntosh, a member of Muskogee Lodge, also became a Baptist minister. The men who were either responsible for providing for the needs of the 5 tribes or who could provide legislative influence were often Freemasons. For the 5 tribes, it was the Masonic Lodge that could be turned to for schools, churches, relief agencies, and post offices. The Civil War would interrupt Freemasonry in the Indian Territory and was particularly devastating to the region. The war did bring 2 notable men to the Indian Territory. In March of 1861, Albert Pike was appointed commissioner to the Indian Territory by the Confederacy for the purpose of negotiating an alliance with the 5 tribes. Pike had become a Freemason in Western Lodge No. 2 of Little Rock, Arkansas. In 1850, he was elected Sovereign Grand Commander of the Scottish Rite in 1859. Having represented the Creek, Chickasaw, and Choctaw nations in legal claims against the federal government, would personally make the Choctaw Peter Pitchland a 32nd degree Mason in 1860. By 1862, Pike had been commissioned a Brigadier General, making him the ranking Confederate officer in the Indian Territory. His tenure as a combat general would be brief, resigning later in that year. Pike's resignation was prompted by orders to move his Indian Brigade outside of the Indian Territory, which violated treaty stipulations, and due to the lack of material being provided his command, again, the men of the 5 tribes saw a Freemason who placed their well-being first, and several of the signatories of the Confederate treaties that Pike negotiated held Masonic membership. Now, I'm pretty sure, for those of you who tuned in, Albert Pike is very famous as a founder of the KKK as well. So, yeah, that guy's just all over the place with his stories. So, Peace DJ ZPE is in the building. Try. One more paragraph here. Also working to see the needs of the 5 tribes at this time was Joseph S. Murrow. Murrow arrived in the Creek Nation in 1857 to assist the Reverend H.F. Buckner, a member of the Muskogee Lodge. As the federal government withdrew from the Indian Territory in 1861, Murrow was appointed as Confederate agent to the Seminoles. He had organized a church in the Seminole Nation in 1859. As the situation grew worse in the Indian Territory during the Civil War, Murrow and his family took refuge in Texas. It was in Texas that he became a Freemason in Andrew Jackson Lodge, number 88, in 1866. Andrew Jackson Lodge, my nigga? Murrow returned to the Indian Territory in 1868, establishing another church at Bogey Depot. It was at Bogey Depot that Freemasonry sprang to life again in the Indian Territory with the establishment of Oklahoma Lodge number 217 that same year. Murrow would go on to be a charter member of the first of numerous Masonic orders in the Indian Territory, including Indian Chapter number 1 of the Royal Archmasons at McAllister, Oklahoma Council number 1 of the Royal and Select Masters at Atoka, and Muskogee Commandery number 1 of Knights Templar. Murrow's continued dedication to the welfare of the 5 tribes culminated in his co-founding of Indian University, now Bacon College. in 1880 and in his establishment of the Murrow Indians Orphan Home. The men of the 5 tribes could find no better example to emulate than that of Freemason Joseph S. Murrow. So, you know, just a little documentation for the nation. Just where do we go from here? Yeah, man. Because I don't figure these cats out. All these niggas, man. Now I see what they doing. That's why four will be the last one. You know what I'm saying? If you can't hear me now, you dropped your phone in water. You dropped your phone in water. Because these niggas had you playing dress up. And we already talked about how the Indians was really living. I got a whole bill coming up where I'm going to really be doing something about Aboriginal fashion. I have a bill about Aboriginal conservative. I have a video. Anyway, let's move on. All right. Yeah, see, that's the 1834 Cherokee Chief Van's house. You know what I'm saying? It said in 1834 Cherokee Chief Van's, because it was built in 1804, ain't that what we had read last time? It said 1834 Cherokee Chief James Van's son, Joseph, lost the family home to the state. The home was subsequently owned by 17 people and had fallen into a state of disrepair, before its 1952 purchase and restoration by the Georgia Historical Commission. Yeah, that's the old boy. So yeah, it looks like them boys was living pretty good making them deals. They definitely wasn't living in no teepees, so whichever one of you niggas was making treaties and y'all people were still in teepees, y'all kind of got gang money. But I digress. We already went over this. We saw this up close. We'll get back to that. Let's talk about Tahlequah, because that's what they said. They set up the Cherokee Lodge, right? It says this photo shows Tahlequah's first Masonic lodge as it looked in 1922. The photo dates the building to 1851, but Tahlequah historian Beth Harrington said the structure was built in 1852. It stood on the alley that runs along the 100 block between Ketawa and Choctaw Streets. So, if you just tapped in, man, hit that like, share it, man. Share it on your community board, whatever the fuck. You can delete that shit tomorrow. Share it so more people see it, man. They can tap in. Because we big shadow band clan, you know what I'm talking about? I gotta post some nigga shit, get 20,000 views on something. Like some motherfucking rap music shit. They'll give me like, I post something about goddamn some rap motherfucking gossip, I get goddamn 20,000 views, no pressure. When I do all this studying and research, I don't get, you know what I'm saying? I don't get the views. just put it out there so it could be seen. I'm running an experiment on them. They think they experiment on me. But I'm not on the chessboard. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, and let me check my mic because they was muting and shit. Yeah, let me finish exposing these niggas' balls. It says, though they started without a formal meeting house and the war between the Though they started without a formal meeting house and a war between the states clouded a bit of their local history, the ancient, free, and accepted Masons have enjoyed a lengthy and robust presence in Tahlequah. Now, might I add that this is from www.tahlequahdailypress.com. So, they're dragging their nuts. They have no problem with letting you know. Yeah, you don't do shit. Y'all pussy. It's on their paper. 2022 too, nigga. Don't try to come tell it now. Now y'all want to come and try to, oh yeah. Now you see this say featured January 12th, 2015, right? Yeah. They sending out that bulletin. You know what I'm talking about? Oh shit, send out the alert. They on us. They on our ass no more. Alright, check it out. The Cherokee Lodge is the oldest in Oklahoma. Yeah, I said it. The Cherokee Lodge is the oldest in Oklahoma, dating to 1848. W.W. Hastings was a member, as were several members of the Ross family. The lodge is home to a number of artifacts. The lodge is home to a number of artifacts, many carried by former members. Among the treasure is the bell from the old Moravian church. Say it ain't so. They back, these motherfucking good oatmeal making motherfuckers. You out there eating the horse food. All right, check it out. It say, among the treasures is the bell from the old Moravian church erected in 1835. So why is y'all keeping the motherfucking bell from the Moravian church as an artifact? I already told you what it is. The Slavs, the Bohemians, the Slavics. Where we get the word slave. So all these niggas was into freeing the slaves and giving our land away. But the slaves were not black, my nigga. They were Bohemian. You know what I'm talking about? So let me get to it because you already know what you came here for, right? And you know what I'm going to do.
Giving you more of what you hoping for. You ain't hoping in the Lord, huh? You hoping in vain, material, superficial shit. That's why you can't see me, house niggas.
Among the treasures is the bell from the old Moravian church erected in 1835, also included. Is the sword presented to Chief John Bowles by General Sam Houston after the Treaty of Bowles Village was signed between the Texas Cherokees and the Texas Commissioners in 1836. Masonic lodges are normally numbered by order of establishment within a state, but Oklahoma's oldest lodge is number 10 because it was chartered through the Grand Lodge of Arkansas. Most records at the Grand Lodge were destroyed during the Civil War. Most records at the Grand Lodge were destroyed during the Civil War. Most records at the lodge were destroyed during the Civil War. And today's lodge numbers were assigned after the conflict. Oklahoma's lodge number 1 is in Eufaula. In the early days, the Tahlequah Masons had no lodge. The chartering ceremony was on November 8, 1848, and they installed officers at the Cherokee Nation Supreme Court building in July 1849, said Tahlequah historian Beth Harrington. But they didn't have a building until the Cherokee Nation Council gave them some land in 1852. This shit is crazy, bro. Y'all niggas don't know this. Y'all didn't know this. Y'all need my CashApp out way. Appreciate it. This shit is blowing my mind, bro. It's all making sense. It's all because when we did the build on the architecture, you know what I'm saying? I started looking and the whole the Reconstruction period and them rewriting the history and the World's Fairs and all this shit. And I just started seeing the period of time that this shit happened. And it just so happens that as all that is going on, simultaneously, all these niggas is goddamn jumping sides. Simultaneously. That's why it's my premise, my belief, I guess I could say, based on what I've come to know, that the Civil War was a race war, most definitely. And the slaves that wanted to be free was pale faces, what you might now refer to as purple people. And you know what's crazy? That's even deep. I'm gonna show you how shit be in our DNA, how the ancestors talk to us. Shout out to the E-Band tribe. That's where I get that from. But it's really deep. We'll get on that. We might go over that in 4. If I drink enough Red Bull, I'm dropping 4 tonight. Because, you know, it'd be cool, people be in the stream and the live. That's lit. Shout out to y'all. I appreciate y'all. But I really just want to get this knowledge out here, bro. And I know it's a lot of niggas, even the niggas who be over here talking they Aboriginal. Their granddaddy was in this shit and all that, and now they feel like they have some type of, I don't even want to say allegiance. They have like they have some kind of duty. You know what I'm saying? I felt like that going to the mosque. You know what I'm saying? Because my grandfather, my mom, my aunties, my uncles, all that, like they. My grandfather helped build the mosque in Ghana. You know what I'm saying? So, same little. But they can't dumb me down, bro. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it's crazy because even when I used to build with my grandfather, he used to be like, I used to ask him questions about Islam, and nobody asked. You know what I'm saying? And people used to, I used to ask like missionaries and brothers at the mosque questions that nobody asked them. And I would ask my grandfather, like, why niggas acting all weird when I ask him about certain shit. You know what I'm saying? And he would just straight up tell me, like, God bless his soul, and God elevate his status in paradise forever, amen. He used to tell me, like, you know, when we were coming up, it wasn't really about digging into the scriptures like that or digging into the Quran like that. So just to give y'all a little understanding of when we hear this church shit and all that, you know, but this coming from, you know, another perspective, but it's still like, it's all the chessboard. He said, we just wanted to be righteous. We just wanted to raise our families and live in peace, say our prayers, fast for Ramadan. You know what I'm saying? Pay our, it's called zakat, which is equivalent to the tithes. You know, give to the poor, to the orphan, to the wayfarer. You know, they just wanted to reconnect with who they already are. You know what I'm saying? So they weren't looking into it. Like our generation won't be looking into it. You know what I'm saying? Now the young niggas got access to everything, so now they don't know what the fuck going on. There's so much to consume, you know, so much to learn. But, you know, we over here in Indian country with the Aboriginals. Tribe, the unconquered tribe, you know what I'm talking about, the unforgettable, forgotten. live from Hawk School for the gifted and the elect. All right, the boss putting up commercials and shit because I'm talking too much. I digress. In 1872, there was a shooting at Cherokee Masonic Lodge number 10. When someone fired at a man named Dick Halfbreed, imagine that's the nigga name, though. That's this nigga name, bro. This gotta be a fake name, bro. See, and that's another thing. That's this nigga rap name. We're gonna get into that in the next thing I read to you from, I think it's the Connecticut, like the Connecticut Historical something. They on there big snitching, bro. We got good primary sources tonight, so don't miss this. Look, I don't want to even make this video too long. Damn, we already at almost an hour. All right, I got to fast forward because if the video too long, niggas ain't going to watch it, and they got to see this shit because they big snitching on here. I'm dropping jewels on this one. On all of them, actually. But all praise due to the Most High for making us the most fly. Try. Let me get some bows and arrows in the chat. Yeah, I'm getting lit now. It's kicking in. Red Bull kicking in. I'm talking about shit. Tribe. My medication kicking in. Bug get in here? What the fuck is that? A motherfucking mosquito hawk. Y'all know what a mosquito hawk is? Let me see if I can catch it. But they actually catch mosquitoes. But he got commission now. Goddamn, big as shit too. Oh shit. Stand by.
Whatever, then I'm wrong. You got me now. Oh, you figured me out. You fucking income fucking poop.
False Faces 3, Native American Freemasonry exposed. In 1872, there was a shooting at Cherokee Masonic Lodge number 10 when someone fired at a man named Dick Halfbreed during one of the regular Moravian services. Here they go again, bro. This is what I'm saying. We reading all over the place. We got 4 videos. We're up to 5 hours of motherfucking content, bro. And these goddamn oatmeal making motherfucking pale faces is everywhere that these side jumping ass Indians is. Let me get my moccasin back on these niggas' neck. In 1872, there was a shooting at Cherokee Masonic Lodge number 10 when someone fired at a man named Dick Halfbreed during one of the regular Moravian services. Harrington says she heard the story from 2 sources, James Wilson, who was present, and Dr. Tom Ballinger. Wilson was a kid attending that meeting, she said. He said he didn't remember how he got out of the building or got home. Halfbreed lived, but he lost an eye. So now he owed one-eyed Dick Halfbreed. He claimed that when he was shot, he saw his spirit hover around his head, then go back in. I bet the fuck you did. In 1889, the Masons moved to a new building. The first lodge was sold for $500 and became home to a school run by the Methodist Conference. The new lodge was built on the southwest corner of Choctaw Street and Muskogee Avenue. The lot was purchased for $300. The lodge and the Masonic Opera House were built on the space for $4,123.50. And I bet that's some old Freemason ass gematria bullshit. Talking about having 50 cents. Man, fuck out of here. Oh no, we got the receipt. Harrington did not know when the Opera House was taken down, but said it wasn't there when I arrived in 1947. In 1955, the Masons moved to their current lodge on the southeast corner of Choctaw Street and College Avenue. It cost $24,324.35. Well, They like making up a whole fucking false reality, bro. To the extent that they even got niggas who look like us, pretending to be us, pretending to be the ones to wake us up, and really fucking us over. Yeah, my computer tripping. I need to get off of this fucking site right here. It says being a Mason means being charitable, blah, 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 blah. Lodge number 10 hosts benefit breakfast every Thursday. Benefit. How the fuck you gonna be charitable after you done took a nigga's whole fucking identity, culture, land, family, murdered motherfuckers? Now you wanna have a picnic? Now you wanna give out some motherfucking sandwiches and shit? But let me show y'all how deep this is, bro. I gotta get turned up. I'm gonna roll me another one. I gotta smoke me another one. I'm gonna get turned up so I can go in on these bitch ass niggas, bro. Yeah. Got my moccasin on these niggas' fucking throats, bro. I got, watch this. Oh yeah, and I'm on your ass. Pause. 0 Hawks. Oh yeah. Yeah. You the new agent. Well, Bernie Mac said, I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. Bullshit. Masonic members are male, at least 19 years old, and must express faith in the Supreme Being. You do know that the only reason that they gotta express faith in the Supreme Being is because how did the devil do anything if he don't get you to renounce the Most High? But you niggas don't get to them to degrees. Y'all get 3, nigga. 3, nigga. Even the motherfucking Indian initiates, nigga, the real motherfucking tribe, the real middle way in society, nigga have 4, nigga, just for the jump off, nigga. You gotta have one for every goddamn direction, my nigga. Every season. Y'all came in the game lacking. It's because you was stealing. And now y'all biting down on that stolen ass shit, nigga. Putting on this motherfucking charade, nigga. Like, man, this nigga, let's be talking shit. Huh? A charade, my nigga. The fuck? Let these goofies in. Look at these niggas, bro. Straight bohemians, nigga. Them the bohemians. Moravian motherfuckers. 2 Hawks and them granddaddy was goddamn chilling with. Look. They got their whole demo. These weird ass niggas. 2 Hawks, come get your motherfucking tribe. Where that nigga at, man? Come get your tribe, nigga. Check in. Your motherfucking, improved order of red man, nigga. Yeah. Let me get some more reading done, man. Because I said I didn't want to make the video too long. Now, this is from the TahlequahDailyPress.com, where the first Cherokee Lodge was set up. Whatever the fuck year nigga made, 1800s. There is an unhappy historical tale associated with the sword in the Masonic collection. At its 1836 convention, the Republic of Texas tabled the Bowles Village Treaty, which was intended to cement Indian neutrality during Texas' war for independence from Mexico. Now, this was a treaty which was intended, I don't know shit about it, nigga, just what I just read, but that was enough to be goddamn too much. Intended to cement Indian neutrality during Texas' war for independence from Mexico. The war ended before the convention, and delegates did not want to forfeit the lands promised. In 1837, the treaty was deemed invalid over the objections of Houston, who was then president of Texas. He repeatedly tried to resurrect it without success during his first administration. The nullification led to the Cherokee War, 1838 to 39, during which many Texas Cherokees were pushed across the Red River into the Choctaw Nation. So, and at the end of the day, bro, they got these niggas straight playing fake wars. Because all these niggas together. The fuck? How the fuck you gonna be at war and y'all all together? All y'all together. Now I'm gonna put a face on these enemies, bro. This is why niggas losing, bro. Let's X out of this hot ass shit right here. I'm gonna see they motherfucking these niggas, bro. Now you look how old these motherfuckers is, bro. And all these motherfuckers older than me. All with the fuckery. That's why we gonna end it on number 4. Fuck this picture. We're gonna end it on number 4 with the new nigga. The new nigga's telling. The new nigga's stealing niggas' identity and shit. Y'all remember Samson Oakham? We talked about him on the other one, right? Might not have watched it. In case you didn't, we're just gonna read a little brief little bit about him. But I found some crazy shit reading about this. You know, that's why you really gotta study, bro. Niggas think they be studying, they don't be studying shit. Yeah, I'm all in that paperwork. Bitch ass niggas. Samson Oakham was a Native American dodged a hijack. Because if I could pull up a picture right now, this is from ConnecticutHistory.org. They big spilling the beans on this motherfucker. But watch, I'm gonna just randomly just look this nigga up. And watch how he looks. I bet he look like a straight pale face. Nigga named Samson. Strength is in my hair. This nigga look like the nigga on the goddamn. Crazy, bro. But look. She was throwing up that set low key. I'm sure he is. But let's get back to it. Samson Oakham was a Native American minister, missionary, and writer whose influence helped promote more intimate ties between Native American and European culture. Born on a Mohegan settlement in southeastern Connecticut, Oakham's mother was a direct descendant of the Mohican leader Uncas. As a teenager, Oakham taught himself to read and write in order to understand better the biblical text popularized during the Great Awakening. Now this nigga, you do see that this say 1723 to 1792. This ain't no new nigga now. We're gonna go back a little more. As a teenager, Oakham taught himself to read and write in order to understand the biblical text popularized during the Great Awakening. After spending 2 years as a teacher in New London and another 11 teaching on Long Island, Oakham traveled to England and Scotland, where he delivered sermons to raise money for the Wheelock Indian Charity School in Lebanon, Connecticut, which eventually moved to New Hampshire and became Dartmouth College. Now, we already know what that is, right? See, it only became the Wheelock School when the Wheelock nigga came and bought it out. That's not what it was. So that's, Wikipedia know what it is. The bots know. Moore's Charity School. Founded in 1754. Lebanon, my nigga. It says Elijah Wheelock became involved in education when Samson Oakham, a Mohegan Native American, asked Reverend Wheelock for instruction. understand? That wasn't Wheelock School. They just came and did the goddamn, the BLM on the nigga. The Black Lives Matter came and stole the whole movement. Now, but remember, who is he? The Puritan Calvinist. Alright? So these niggas over here goddamn fucking with these people. But that ain't what we're here to talk about. We found out something about it. That's why I say you gotta read, you gotta study. Look. Alright, can y'all hear me? Look, they just muted me. I caught them this time, though. And I had a little message flashing talking about the browser's lost connection. You ain't lost no motherfucking connection. They capping like a motherfucker. My mic didn't lose no connection. I'll be on goddamn, I could watch YouTube for the rest of my life. That motherfucker won't have no problem. But let a nigga say some fly shit. So, did y'all get all that? Moore's Indian School, alright? How this nigga going to be a teacher? He wasn't a student. You see that nigga was old as shit. Samson Oakham, that's that nigga school. The Moore's Indian Charity School. He trying to do the shit, whatever. Let's move on. So, the nigga was in New London. What the fuck is New London, y'all? The city of New London, located in and the city seat of New London County, sits along the Long Island Sound. Incorporated in 1784. As one of the first 5 Connecticut cities. New London was the colony's first official port. Trade with the West Indies and other colonies made it an important commercial hub. Niggas getting money. Your homeboy Samson teach over there at the Moore's School. You know what I'm saying? In the 19th century, New London was by volume the whaling and sealing industry's second largest New England port. Today, New London is known for Ocean Beach, Fort Trumbull, the Coast Guard, Academy, and Main Street, blah, blah, blah. Because you got to see this, bro. Because you got to keep reading. Move on. New London. Indian Mariners. What the fuck is that? Because now this is ConnecticutHistory.org. I could have did a whole separate video on this if I wanted to. New London's Indian Mariners. I want to get y'all, I want to paint y'all a picture of why these niggas is jumping sides. So it's not just like, oh, you just talking. No, bro, it's a reason that this is happening. Because niggas is, we living like the real motherfucking leaders we are. Authors know. The use of the term Indian is problematic, but must be contextualized. Now, the reason I'm putting this on the screen is because this also goes with the bill. About how these niggas will tell you what these words mean and which words you should be using and why you should be using them. I'm about to expose these niggas who be telling you this shit for the reason why they tell you this shit. Bro, niggas be telling you the opposite of the shit you need to know. Check this out, though. So now this the author's note, right? And then you got these niggas jumping up here talking about they big Indian nigga, they got big all motherfucking paperwork, this, that, and the other, you don't know who you are, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, nigga. That's how I'm scientist. You know what that means. Pull up. Let's check this out real quick. Author's note. The use of the term Indian is problematic, but must be contextualized. Tribal-specific labels are preferred, though often native and indigenous are used now in place of Indian. In place of Indian as a generalized descriptor. In the U.S., let's light this up good. The term Indian has legal and political significance to tribes and how they manage their relationship with state and federal governments, okay? That's because Indian is codified in the U.S. Constitution and in subsequent federal Indian law and the Bureau of Indian Affairs. Historically, Indian people were excluded from the federal census 1790 to 1860 or relabeled using other race categories Wait, like what? Like mulatto or colored, that resulted in the erasure from colonial, state, and federal records of a process that Native people describe as pencil, or as we call it, pencil genocide. This is ConnecticutHistory.org.
Giving you more of what you hoping for. You ain't hoping in the Lord, huh? You hoping in vain, material, superficial shit. That's why you can't see me, house niggas.
Some tribal communities today self-identify using the term Indian, including the Narragansett Indian tribe, the Shagticoke Indian tribe, and the Shinnecock Indian Nation. Keeping this in mind to better connect readers to the historical documents that serve as the foundation of this article, the term Indian is used to describe the indigenous people of New England and their descendants when specific tribal labels are not applicable. What? You can't just say there's some niggas from goddamn the East Coast? This is on the ConnecticutHistory.org site, bro. This shit crazy. They're gonna say, oh, it's a fake site. Boy, that shit expensive as shit, boy. Fuck you mean, nigga? I know about computers and shit, boy. You can't get no site like that for the cheap, my nigga. Fuck you talking about? Boy, well, it gotta be them people then. Let me continue. We don't want to go past. On July 17, 1710, Peter Wayamayu, a Pequot Indian, who had served as an apprentice to Lieutenant John Fanning of Groton, indentured himself with the permission of his mother and her husband to Major John Merritt and Mrs. Mercy Raymond of Fisher Island, New York, for a period of 2 years. Though few other details are known, the terms of the agreement did stipulate that Peter would be permitted 2 weeks out of the year to visit his mother and other relations on the mainland. Now, see, I'm going to show y'all some shit, bro. All this old slave shit and all this. Hey, these niggas was quitting their job, bro. The Indians, nigga. Yo, uncle, nigga. Oh, shit. No, real shit, though. Niggas was doing nigga shit, bro. Niggas just quitting their job. Watch. On his return to Fisher's Island early in the second year of his service, however, he encountered a man of war sloop entering Long Island Sound under the command of Lieutenant Daniel Allen. Likely of the British Royal Navy, the origin of the vessel was not noted in the court records. The crew of the vessel beckoned Wayamayu to come on board, which he did. One of the men then turned his canoe adrift, and they continued on their voyage, impressing him into service and effectively terminating his indenture or trading one form of indenture for another, according to court records. So the nigga canoe, they come and the nigga working for one motherfucker, and the nigga go get on the ship with these other motherfuckers, the British Royal Navy. So, and the canoe flipped, but he's saying that the paperwork saying turned his canoe adrift. So the nigga really quit his job and went and got a better job, right? It says trickery was often used to lure men of any race into maritime work, as it was difficult, low-paying labor. 2.5 years later, on January 1st, 1713, while in Boston, one Peter Fanning, an Indian man of New London. Now they try to trick you with all this New London and all this bullshit. Nigga, America, East Coast, nigga. Connecticut. In the company of several seamen, became very drunk on slip and punch and indentured himself as a mariner's apprentice to Lieutenant Daniel Allen for a period of 3 years. Shortly thereafter, according to New London County Court records, in May 1713, he did run away and absent himself from his second master and his service, quote. So they're quoting this other hijack. It's not his fucking master. He worked there. He worked on a nigga boat. He's the master of the motherfucking ship. You know what I'm saying? freestyle and hijacking. It said his whereabouts were unknown until nearly 3 years later when he appeared in Groton on March 27, 1716. At this time, the sheriff of New London was instructed to seize Peter's property or arrest him so that he could be arraigned before the county court. Peter then provided a sworn statement before a local justice of the peace explaining the events that had brought about his current situation. Now, mind you, this nigga's name is not even fucking Peter. This nigga's name is Wayamayahu. That's what I'm saying. These niggas got rap names, the whole shit, bro. All this shit, boy. Niggas think they know history, don't know shit. This nigga name done changed to Peter. And they talking about him to where if you ain't even goddamn, don't have any comprehension skills, you won't even know who the fuck Peter is. You'd be lost. Like, who the fuck is Peter? Peter Wayamahu and Peter Fanning were, of course, the same person. What? So now Wayamahu, say Waya. Peter Wayamahu and Peter Fanning were, of course, the same person. Now entangled in 2 lawsuits resulting from his having abandoned his first indenture on Fisher Island and his second indenture with Lieutenant Allen Peter could be easily cast as a victim of harsh, indifferent, and discriminatory labor market and colonial legal system that was constructed by and for the English. So this 1700s, this 1716, niggas running off of their job and shit, they like, this some bullshit. Niggas like, man, fuck that job, dog. They ain't going back, man. They be tripping. That's how you know it's us. I did that shit hell of a time. We the only ones who do that. Probably not. But anyway. It said, but Peter had picked up a few tricks of the trade to help him beat the system. An alias, an apparent willingness to violate his contractual obligation, and a seaman's knowledge and mobility. So now it's a nigga, it's an Indian, this nigga quitting his motherfucking jobs, and he know his way around the sea. He outside, this nigga big outside, bro. Fuck you talking about? Fuck is you talking about, man? Welcome to New London, bitches. He got him suing. So this is what I'm saying. They suing him. They going to court. They suing the nigga 1700. Man, that nigga Peter Wayamahu. This nigga like Peter Wayamahu. Check it out though. Oh, let's get a picture of him. Cause you gonna be like, well, that don't mean. This nigga make like motherfucker. Got good hair too. Peter Wayamahu. This nigga motherfucker Irish and Indian like a motherfucker, boy. Nigga hair look like my little brothers. That's now, but at the same time, here go these niggas try. This 2 Hawks tribe right here. Meanwhile, back in Connecticut with the real niggas. And look, my nigga getting money. That's another thing I want to show y'all. Is this Peter? Let me get the right picture, man. That's him. Yeah, because it's their website. Oh no, is this the other fishing nigga? That's the picture. Yeah, here you go, right here. It's another nigga. Yeah, let's just fast forward. Because this is what I want to get to. That's why I put that picture to remind me. Shut the fuck up and fast forward. It says, ample evidence discredits the myth of vanishing Indian. Now, once again, I'm telling you all this, and it has something to do with the bill because I'm showing you, nigga, we was out here doing us, nigga. Fuck you mean? Niggas was hating. So they had to get police ass, undercover, snitching ass niggas to break up the whole fucking goddamn dynasty, my nigga. Ain't nothing new. What they saying nothing new under the sun. This 1700. This nigga switching up names and all that. I had a link to this in the, let me put it in the chat right now. Y'all can just go crazy on that motherfucker false. And this right here will also be in the description. And then we'll get back to these snitches. It says, ample evidence discredits the myth of vanishing Indian. With the drastic reduction of Indian lands, let me get some bows and arrows in the chat. Can you hear me loud and clear? Did you share it? Did you like it? Did you text your people and let them know Hawksville Live? No hawks. Yeah, but we're going to pause it, take a break, come back. Not yet, though. Anyway, let's get back to this. Ample evidence discredits the myth of vanishing Indian. This straight from ConnecticutHistory.org. With the drastic reduction of Indian lands in Connecticut in the mid-18th century, so many Indians had dispersed that the English began to misunderstand and misrepresent both reservation life and the social networks that were developing to keep Indian people connected to each other. Recent work with the records of the Collector of Customs from Collection District of New London, Connecticut, 1789 to 1938 has begun to illuminate Indians off-reservation activity. So these are the real niggas, all the niggas that's outside, all the niggas who didn't goddamn amalgamate. Is that the right word? Comment when you see this. You know what I'm saying? When you run it back. If I said it. All right. Recent work with the records of the Collector of Customs for the Collection District of New London, Connecticut, 1789 to 1938 has begun to illuminate Indians off-reservation activity. Between August 1796 and the date of Mott's letter in 1804, nearly 80 Indian men from across the region had registered for a seaman's protection certificate or appeared on a vessel crew listing arriving at or departing from New London. Hundreds more would follow. Ain't nobody slaves, niggas just going to get jobs. Oh, they got a good job down there. A comparison of custom records with tribal documents and federal census records indicate that of 224 individuals specifically identified as, quote, Indian in the customs records between 1796 and 1860, only 28 appear on tribal lists, records, or petitions. This means that 88% of New London seafaring Indians never appear on tribal documents, but nonetheless were born in or resided in the towns surrounding these Indian lands. So these niggas ain't on no paperwork, nigga. Fuck you mean, nigga? Well, this shit ain't new. Tribe. Fuck you mean, nigga? Why ain't nobody on no paperwork, nigga? What is you talking about? He said 88%. So all you niggas, y'all the suckers. Goddamn, 22% as the 22% Indians. That's what y'all niggas is. 22%ers. Damn. Ain't it ironic that the nigga call himself Two Hawks and he a 22%er? Check it out. Though custom records alone don't fully reveal the way people of color identified themselves, many Indian mariners declared their tribal affiliation in other sources, such as tribal petitions, census records, and legal proceedings. In the custom records, men of Indian descent were often placed in category associated with what? With what? In the custom records, men of Indian descent were often placed in categories associated with African ancestry, such as black or Negro, and in categories typically associated with European ancestry, such as fair and light. Further complicating this picture is the inconsistency with which many individuals were perceived and labeled. Between 1810 and 1818, Henry Fagans of Bozrah was labeled on various crew lists as Negro of color, mulatto, and dark. Similarly, in the period between 1819 and 1834, David Rogers of New London, Connecticut, my nigga, was listed as Indian, colored, dark, mulatto, and yellow. It depends upon which pale face looking at you, nigga. That's which name you gonna get, nigga. What you need? I don't know, man. It look like goddamn mulatto when I synced him. He was yellow. It was a colored boy. I don't know. It was dark. He was dark, man. Though Indian voices were strangely silent during these times, their actions were not. Beginning in 1796 with the initiation of the New London Customs Records, Family and connections can be observed and documented in the maritime industry. While the registration lists were maintained in alphabetical order over a period of decades, each mariner, often with an alphabetically different surname, received a numbered protection certificate on a certain date. When the protection certificates are reorganized sequentially and by date, a startling pattern begins to emerges, where it has become clear. A startling pattern emerges where it has become clear that many of these vanished, quote unquote, men were appearing and enlisting together in New London. This cohesion, yeah, they all tribe, nigga, what's poppin'? What's up with y'all? Y'all finna go get the job with D&E? Tribe, what's poppin'? What you mean, bro? D&E don't know shit about us. What? You said 12%ers. Oh yeah, man, I'm a bullish Prince of Wales. Niggas motherfucker. 12 no hawks. Yes, bullish Prince of Wales. You are correct, certainly. 88 plus 12 is 100. Sheesh. This cohesion can be seen in the crews of merchant vessels reported in the New London Custom Records between 1796 and 1822, and principally on whaling vessels after 1821. As with other seamen, men of color appeared on these vessels in groups of 3 to 6 men. Tribe, I told y'all. Just like niggas go work, oh, we got the carpentry job, man. Me and my homeboy, goddamn, we finna go out of town. Go work on the house, man. We got the contract. Men of color appeared on these vessels in groups of 3 to 6 men. On board, they filled a variety of roles, such as able seamen, ordinary seamen, cook, steward, boy, and occasionally cooper or mate. But as these fraternities were forming, they were also being obscured by the arbitrary classifications of race or complexion by white customs officials. At a time when the Indian population was perceived by Anglo-Americans to be vanishing, these individuals and groups were adapting and redefining themselves in ways not recognized or documented in contemporary historical accounts. The nature and extent of these connections are only realized by considering Indian reservation populations as part of a larger regional network of Indians. It's the goddamn, the hawk motherfucker. I try to let you live. We already went to break about you. That motherfucker, that's a goddamn mosquito hawk, man. They kill mosquitoes. You know what I mean? Shout out to your scary ass kids, man. Scared of bugs and shit. The nature and extent of these connections are only realized by considering Indian reservation population as part of a larger regional network of Indians and people of color. Assessment of the Indian presence in Connecticut has been hindered by our inability to recognize individuals as Indians. By considering various biases, including those of race, identity, and mobility, and by framing Indians in a population and community level study, we allow their rich and detailed histories to emerge. This nigga right here, boy, he can't keep his job. Shit, light skin ass nigga. Again, but yeah, that's very interesting, bro. 1700s, niggas just running off. Niggas, bro. Straight on their side. All right, now let's get back to these niggas. These fraternities and shit. What are they talking about these fraternities? A lot of it does some shit that's crazy. Let's see, are we at? This only an hour and a half right now, so this is really good. Niggas been outside, bro. And Connecticut big telling that we the real motherfucking goddamn Indians. Aboriginals. You know what I'm talking about? So don't get it twisted. Yeah, Aboriginals too, nigga. Don't get it twisted. That's important too. was reading this, I was reading the Birch Bark Rolls. I was thinking about reading this book, like just reading the whole thing. It's only 71 pages in a whole separate video. So if you would like to see this, the Birch Bark Rolls in a whole separate video, where we just go over just that book, let me know, man. Comment. You know what I'm saying? It's all said and done. But this was interesting to me. It says, the war bonnet is the most important of all decorations. It is a complete record of the owner's exploits as well as a splendid ornament. The making of it is fully described in the Ladies' Home Journal for July 1902 and in Two Little Savages. So yeah, of course, we know the Birch Bark Rolls. We know what that's about. If you don't know what it's about, that means you haven't watched the other two videos, and you need to catch up. Must you know what I'm talking about? Easy, bro. Hey, you know what's crazy? Where is that paper? Because you remember we were going over the whole meaning, the Mamats, Masonry, and the American Indian. That's how we found out about it. That's how it explains the largest, highest degree of the medicine dance. It was given after the candidate had made a suitable proficiency in the preceding degrees. Tithers were appointed, and each member donned their respective regalia and lodge. The great chief stood in the east, facing east-west. He gave a sign with his right arm, which all present then gave. He addressed the great mystery as part of the opening ritual. When it came time for the initiation ritual, the candidate took part in a silent prayer and received charges to observe all rules of the order. Instructions were given on his duty to fellow men and to God. Not your God, nigga. It's a whole different one. The candidate was then struck by a medicine bag. A medicine bag. A medicine bag. Symbolically dying from the impact, then symbolically resurrected by the great chief. The historian Brandt, in his instructive work, The Myth of the New World, says that among the red race in America, the priests formed secret societies of different grades of illumination, only to be entered by those willing to undergo trying ordeals, whose secrets were not to be revealed under the severest penalties. The Algonquins had 3 such grades: the Wabino, the Meta, and the Josaki, the last being the highest. To this, and this is, the purple people said it themselves, to this no white man was ever admitted. All tribes appear to have been controlled by their secret societies. That's why you're drawn to it. But these niggas is the traitors. They ain't feeling on these booty paws. And I ain't even exaggerating. That's what the fuck they doing. In American Indian Freemasonry by Arthur C. Parker, published in the Buffalo Consistory, 1919, Parker analysis the correlation between American Indian ritual and Masonic ritual. Parker states that in the Native American religion there were many spiritual powers but only one supreme deity. Parker refers to the undiscovered masonry, stating it is not the Freemason alone who is curious in Freemasonry. Every man who enjoys the society of his fellow men and who sees in the symbols that are found in the world about him moral lessons that admonish him to virtue, sees also in all cosmos the potentialities of masonry. The student who has penetrated the strange lands and places of the earth is called upon to tell what other races and peoples know of mystic orders that blind men to morality and brotherly devotion. Does the American native have signs, grips, and words like those of ancient craft masonry? In his thesis, Parker questions what is Freemasonry. Now, also, I want y'all to remember, this nigga Arthur Parker, this nigga archaeologist too, bro. So he going in there talking to lingo like, yeah, what's up, bro? I'm trying to, we was trying to dig up some of y'all grandmamas. This pale face dude right here say he give y'all some bread, bro. If you got down, dig up your grandma. I know, bro. It sounds crazy to ask you like that, bro. But he cool, bro. He my guy. Y'all chill out, man. Tell y'all boys, he cool. No, he with me. He in my tribe. What tribe am I? I'm a Lenny Lenante. Yeah. Oh, okay, it's cool. Okay. We then need to ask ourselves how much of Freemasonry did the Native American possibly know of an order that up to 1717 was not organized and whose ritual had not been fixed. An examination reveals that the Native American ritual is indeed Masonic but not accepted Masonry. Let us examine the fundamental beliefs of the nations and tribes of Native America, by which they held the same truths as supremely evident. Native America. Every time I hear Native American, bro, that shit I don't like, bro. I ain't even gonna lie. I don't like that shit. Let us examine the fundamental beliefs. Yeah, that's they type. Let us examine the fundamental beliefs of the nations and tribes of Native America, by which they held the same truths as supremely evident. First, there is the native belief in a supreme being, whether it was Chiricahua of the Pawnee, Howinu of the Iroquois, Geechee Manitou of the Algonquin. The same idea prevailed of one grand architect of the universe. Next was morality, where the native was held to be just, truthful, charitable, and considerate with his fellow man. Immorality and a strong belief in the world beyond the sky. A belief that current conduct affects future life. A belief in brotherhood. If there is one belief among the native tribes, was a belief in the universal kinship of all created things. It was this brotherhood that made hospitality the universal rule among Indians. The Indian drew moral lessons and analogies from the art of building their houses and other dwellings. At most, symbolism came from their study of the temple of nature. You see what I'm talking about, bro? The Indian used sacred words that could only be whispered, and some never spoken except in lodge. The question remains, how much did the Native American know of accepted Freemasonry? And we ain't talking about Native Americans. We talking about motherfucking niggas, bro. These traitor-ass niggas came and stole everything. And switched it up. Goddamn, got niggas in teepees with some headdresses on, goddamn, grabbing all on. Little boy, goddamn, boo-boo. The fuck? I'm trying to beat the box when I say it, but y'all know what I mean. Check this out. In Dr. Mitchell's The History of Freemasonry, we learned the possible association with the Welsh Indians whose ancestry immigrated from Wales. There were more Druids in Wales than in any other part of Europe. Many distinguished Indians became accepted Freemasons, among whom was the late General Eli S. Parker and the Seneca chief, who was an aide to General Grant in the Civil War. During the Revolutionary War, W.L. Bowden wrote in his book, Masonry Among the American Indian, that Colonel McKinstry, about to be executed while in captivity, gave the mystic sign of appeal of a Mason in the hour of danger. It was then seen by Chieftain Brandt, who was a Mason and who immediately interposed in his behalf and rescued the brother from his impending fate, freed from his bonds, guided him to safety to Quebec, and placed him in the hands of the English. Return home to safety. All right, that's our signature right there. Chief Joseph Brandt was a Mohawk loyalist and Freemason. During his early youth, Brandt, a true-blood Mohawk, became a favorite of Sir William Johnson, the British superintendent of the Northern Indians of America, who was very popular among the Mohawk tribes and who was also the provincial Grand Master of the New York colony. In 1776, Brandt became the principal war chief of the Confederacy of the Six Nations, according to Albert Mackey in the Encyclopedia of Freemasonry, after examining a number of historically Native American Indians who were Freemasons, including Brandt and Parker, concluded, thus from primitive and ancient rites akin to Freemasonry, which had grown in the shadow of the distant past, the American Indian is graduating into free and accepted Masonry, as it has been taught to us. It is an instructive example of the universality of human belief in fraternity, morality. They want to be included, bro. They tell them, we want to come, we want to be the one. Accepted Freemasonry among the American Indian flourished in the territories. Accepted Freemasonry among the American Indian flourished in territories. On July 12, 1849, under dispensation from the Grand Lodge of Arkansas, a charter was granted to Cherokee Lodge number 21, the first lodge of Indian free and accepted Freemasons established in the United States.
Who cut your hair? Who cut your hair?
Respect, but this is business that needs to be taken care of, you know. Slap on the back is all fine and dandy. Yeah. But it needs promotion. It needs promotion. It needs, yeah. Big to me. Are you laughing, biatch? You find it funny? You find it funny?
They charged Jesus with sedition. Didn't they do that? They said he was against Caesar. They said he was discriminating because he told his disciples, go not the way of the Gentiles, but rather go through the lost sheep. He discriminated. Don't go near the Gentiles, go to the lost sheep. Go to the oppressed.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Ride, 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 ride. Little goodbye when you see me ride. Don't you see me switching lanes? Bitch ass niggas switch sides. Don't hate the riders, hate the game. Don't hate the riders, don't hate the riders, don't hate the riders, don't hate me, man. Don't hate ass niggas switching sides. Don't you see me switching lanes? Let me by when you see me ride. Don't you see me switching lanes? Bitch ass niggas switching sides.
Drop. We back. False bases and hot places. Native American Freemasonry exposed. Fast forward where it says, in Eric Lott's 1993 Love and Theft, Blackface Minstrelsy, and the American Working Class, Lott encourages us to look at the phenomenon of whites dressing up as ethnic, quote-unquote, others in new ways. In new ways. In new ways. In the Masonic Lodge at various times, Indians performed Indianness as part of the Masonic ritual. And Euro-American Masons similarly performed as Indians in specific Indian or Indian-inspired Masonic rituals. The accepted Masonic lodges for the Indian, you know what? Hold on. Let's get them on while we read that. Give them a little visual. Shout out to everybody tuned in, man. Whenever you watch this, share it. If you watch it again, share it. Share it again when you watch it. Every time you share it, watch it. Every time you watch it, share it. Both. Do both. Why choose when you can have both? Ball out. You know what I'm saying? Just ball out. Just go crazy. Money's imaginary. Money ain't a thing. You ain't worried about no money. You know what I'm saying? You balling. You don't need no money. You just throw that shit. You balling. Play my own video, so I know I ain't. Which one did I have? Hey man, I've been doing a lot of studying, learning a lot of new things, man. Antennas up, you know what I'm talking about. I got a lot of new knowledge to share with y'all about it. So, I'm working it out. False bases 2. You gotta know the words, man. Order of the error. It's the bots, bro. The bots are too smart. No, this shit original. And I just learned some more shit. Yeah, I know it's original, but we'll play that. This thing. Probably gonna dress up. Weird motherfucker. In Eric Lott's 1993, Love and Theft, Blackface minstrelsy in the American working class, Lott encourages us to look at the phenomenon of whites dressing up as ethnic quote-unquote others in new ways. In the Masonic Lodge, you know what, I gotta make sure I'm reading all this other shit, but you know they be beating. Oh, you good, my nigga beat. In the Masonic Lodge, at various times, Indians perform Indianness as part of the Masonic ritual. And Euro-American Masons similarly performed as Indians in specific Indian or Indian-inspired Masonic rituals. The accepted Masonic lodges for the Indian created a social and political space where Indians and Euro-Americans could conjoin and interact at the level of the imagination and within the realm of the sacred. A spiritual sanctuary and haven for Euro-Americans' versions of the Indian past, a sanctuary and haven for Indian versions of the Euro-American past. Meme definition philosophy. Meme, by analogy with Jean Richard Dawkins' term for an idea considered as a replicator, especially with the connotation that memes parasites people into propagating them much as viruses do. Memes can be considered the unit of cultural evolution. Ideas can evolve in a way, is it analogous to biological evolution? Some ideas survive better than others. Ideas can mutate through, for example, misunderstandings. And two ideas can recombine to produce a new idea involving elements of each parent idea. The term is used especially in the phrase meme complex, denoting a group of mutually supporting memes that form an organized belief system, such as a religion. However, meme is often misused to mean meme complex. Use of the term connotes acceptance of the idea that in humans and presumably other tool and language-using sophists, cultural evolution by selection of adaptive ideas has become more important than biological evolution by selection of hereditary traits. Crazy shit. Should be fucking my head up, bro. That's all. Moore's Indian school. I straight took that nigga school, turned that motherfucker into what's this shit called? Dartmouth, nigga. And your black ass can't even get in. Two hard people right here. Even when I try to, they order the red man. You already know that. That's a given. Let's revisit that. Let's go in this one. Lenape tribe number 2 is the oldest existing tribe of the order in the state and numbers in the wealth of the strongest and richest in the United States. And if you've never watched this video before, you're talking about data members of what? Richest and oldest order. Shit, nigga, you don't know about these people, nigga? America's oldest fraternal organization, the Improved Order of Red Men, is a nonprofit fraternal organization devoted to inspiring a greater love for the United States of America and the principles of American liberty, along with our women's auxiliary, the degree of Pocahontas. We support various charitable, youth, and educational programs. What do you mean? You don't know about them? They improved. Go watch the other video. Right? You know what's crazy? When I'm looking it up, bro, you know what I found? Oh, shit. I sent the demons. Well, we ain't never scared. Check this shit out, though. Hold on, I gotta let him see this. My nigga, these motherfuckers have been in business for 143 motherfucking years and 10 months, nigga. Fuck you mean? This is from Bizopedia, my nigga. Fuck you mean, nigga? Big business, boy. New Jersey Division of Revenue Business Registration. Updated, nigga. 2016, nigga. They just updated that shit, nigga. 143 years, nigga. Company age. Goofy. Let me highlight it for the slow niggas who done snuck their ass in here to goddamn think they gonna have something to say. God bless y'all soul. Boom. Company age. 143 years, nigga. When that shit was filed. Shit, 1878, nigga. Same time. I told y'all when all this shit be going on. All this shit be going on at the same time. Silk ribbon fob with carved bone ornamentation, a pair of century-old officer jewels, some well-worn fobs and pins, oldies but goodies, far right column, honor badges. What that sound like? Well, we was just watching, nigga, Boy Scouts. They get motherfuckers primed up. There are at least 4 varieties of these, and quite possibly more. The piece marked Indiana suggests that some Grand Lodges may have authorized their own design. These are among the rare of the Redmond pieces, with the top one being especially hard to find. The Improved Order of Redmond traces its origin from the Sons of Liberty Patriots, who were active before the American Revolutionary War and are well known for their participation in the Boston Tea Party, Sons of Liberty, and in turn the IORM. Improved Order of Redmond. We get money. You know what I'm saying? They want to be us. They hate us because they ain't us. They hate us because they ain't us. They hate us because they ain't us. Oh, part two gonna be wild. That's part 4. Damn. That's part 4 gonna be wild.
I'm ready.
How can black people rise up and overcome?
How can they rise up and overcome? Oh, can they?
That is correct.
Respect, but this is business that needs to be taken care of, you know. Slap on the back is all fine and dandy. Yeah. But it needs promotion. It needs promotion. It needs, yeah. Big to me. Are you laughing, biatch? You find it funny? You find it funny?